You ready? All right. I'm gonna put you on speakerphone. All right. I call this meeting to order. You can please stand up for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call.
Reaper,
Here.
Kramer.
Here.
Lawson and Hoover absent. Bowman.
Okay, approval of today's agenda. Do we have a motion? So moved. Second. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carried. Approval of consent agenda. Do we have a motion? So moved. Second. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carried. Mayor comments of our commendation. I have two. One, we didn't have time to include this in the agenda today, but there's a deadline of April 5th. The Iowa Association of Municipal Utilities is having a clerks conference. So I would like us to entertain the idea of sending.
It's under the threshold. I just wanted to let you guys
Okay.
know that I'm interested in going. It
Going
has
to
a
the
lot of,
conference.
Law stuff, HR stuff, utility billing stuff that I never really had to get into much in a smaller city. So I just got that emailed to me today and I thought that had really good classes that I thought that would be beneficial.
Yeah.
Where's it at?
I talked to Julie about this earlier today. All the classes seem pretty relevant to the things that we're doing in Hudson and the situation that we're going through. So
Yeah, it's in
I
Ankeny.
support this.
It's in Ankeny, April 8th and 9th. Deadline is April 5th. It's 2 days and class is $250. And the hotel for that night for a night is $160. But Julie offered to, instead of driving the night before and spending 2 nights in a hotel, that she's willing to leave early here and drive the same day. Registration starts at 8:30, so she'll need to leave here by 6 that day. That drive that same day, I only have 1 night of hotel. So that's very nice of her, but I told her that I would say that if we wanna pay for 2 nights, so she could drive the night before, that'll be okay with me as well.
In the spirit of consistency, I'd say let's go one night if that's,
That's fine with me.
okay.
I like sleeping in my own bed.
Yeah.
Doesn't bother me. I've done it before. So, and this isn't an agenda item, so nobody has to motion or anything. I just wanted you guys to know that that
Cool.
was something that would come out of the budget. So.
Great.
Perfect. And then the second thing that I have, it's again, not on the agenda yet. I want to talk about the trash. I know we've had a lot of complaints the last week or so, and we are aware of that. We've been talking about that even before these issues started with Blackout Waste. Unfortunately, we are in a contract with them, so it's not something that we can just say, now we're done. We have a contract to obey with, but we are documenting all the issues that we've had with them, so we can have some ground if moving forward we decide to, we're not gonna wait until the contract is done and look at other services or other waste management services and pickup. So appreciate everybody's patience and understanding. I know it's not fun to have your garbage and recycling out there and not being picked up, and then the wind blowing it all over the place, and it's just a mess, and it's not what we want for the city, but we're aware of it. We're working towards that. It's something that, it doesn't go unnoticed, so please bear with us until we either continue. We've been talking to Black Waste daily, it seems like, and they are going through some issues, but they've been more than willing to go. I believe you mentioned that they went and picked up some garbage today,
Yeah,
so.
one of the managers actually finally just got in a truck and went out.
Okay.
They're short-staffed,
Yes,
and they had a mechanic picked up last week, and that's why there was so many missed areas, because they're not drivers. They were just trying to fill the role, and
Yeah.
unfortunately, they didn't know
Yeah.
where to go.
Yeah.
So, but they tried. They did put an effort in.
so we're working with them.
Did you hear that the owner is in prison?
We've heard all those rumors, so, we've heard all sorts of rumors, so again, all we can do is do our end of the agreement, we have a contract and we're gonna obey by that, but we're documenting any issues, anything like that, so in the future, if we need to have our attorney look at the agreement, that we have the necessary foundation and backup to say, hey, you're not fulfilling your end of the agreement, so, we would like to make some changes or take some action there, so, but please, bear with us, and I appreciate the understanding and the patience there, so that's all I have. Next item on the agenda is citizens' request and oral presentation. I do have Lori Ann, and I apologize, I cannot read your writing very well. I cannot pronounce your last name, but Lori Ann. 407 Western,
Here.
you would like to?
I was
would like
just,
to speak?
here for the proposed tax increase, so that's what I was gonna ask about.
Okay. And, we had that, open meeting earlier
Yeah.
at 6.
I think
And
you're
then-
free to say something now, probably.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. We had a public meeting at 6 o'clock about the tax increase specifically. So that meeting was started and ended, and now we're on a regular council meeting, but you're free to speak what you were gonna say about the tax increase.
I didn't hear anything about the tax increase. I just got a letter in the mail. And I was just wondering what you guys are proposing, and I didn't hear anything about that, basically.
Okay. Well, what we've been discussing for several meetings now is, the increase in the levy, to offset, the deficit in the
That'd
budget,
be to offset the employee benefits.
employee benefits.
And, liability insurance.
So the levy has not changed in the last 10 years. And we've seen increase in, benefit costs, insurance, our benefits are due to renew in June, and they're gonna increase 12%. So we just approved to increase the levy, from 13.8 to 14, it's one
It was 11.35 and it would be
13.25.
13.28.
So $1.93 per thousand. So from 11 to 13.28.
And my understanding is what we've approved is that whatever the levy increase we do will be no higher than that,
Correct.
No.
but we haven't finalized
That would go in.
an exact number.
The actual budget, that will be determined what that actual rate.
So we could pass a levy rate that's lower than the no greater than number of 1.93. And that's gonna take place, I was just talking to Julie about this today, some budgeting meetings that are coming up.
So we actually have a budget workshop tomorrow, scheduled with all the department heads to go over the budget, and we've asked them to reduce their budgets again this year, so we can be able to balance everything, so. Yep. Any other residents, any members of the committee that would like to speak? You can feel free to do so at this moment. Okay, we're gonna move forward with general government. Item A, resolution 3440, approving the survey for Cherry Street and Marion Lane by Wayne Klassen Engineering and Survey, Inc., in the amount not to exceed 4,200. Do we have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Second,
Discussion?
Just so everybody knows, obviously this was the lowest on this, we had them as high as 21,000 for the same survey. The middle one came in at 8,500, so this 4,200 is obviously the direction we chose to go.
Well, I mean, what are they doing on Cherry Street? That was just done. I mean, like, is it gonna extend?
Well, what's being proposed is, the city is gonna get like we haven't established the footage of right of way yet.
You won't until after this is approved.
But what they're talking is the people along Cherry Street and Marion Lane will gain property.
Okay.
The city will pay for the survey to have it surveyed because the owners will have to update their abstracts.
Okay.
Okay. So, roll call?
Kramer,
Aye.
Bowman.
Aye.
Reeser,
Okay. Resolution approved. Item B, resolution 3441, approving the employment of water and wastewater employee. We have a motion.
so moved.
Second.
Second.
Steve was first. Discussion? Roll call?
Bowman,
Aye.
Reeser.
Aye.
Kramer.
Aye.
Resolution 3441 approved. Item C, resolution 3442, approving transfers. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
I just wanna,
And then discussion?
yeah, for discussion, Julie, can you explain? And I'm not suspicious of anything, but this is one of the places where in the past we got in trouble because we just approved carte blanche transfers that we were told were like the normal monthly transfers so,
This is cleanup.
yeah,
This
so go ahead.
Cleanup. So, we started looking at the treasurer's report and seeing a bunch of like negative and positive fund balances in projects and funds that shouldn't have anything in them. And I got to looking and I think what happened is Maggie, when we got the bond money in May, she must have had an older report. So because I didn't work here full time when I did all of that, so I hadn't dove into any of the reports. So when she gave me the spreadsheet, it said transfer this to this fund, this to this fund, blah, blah, blah. Come to find out that it didn't balance out to zero or whatnot. So I dug into these and, that's where those fund balances were coming from. So I took the positive fund balances and put them back into the general fund. When I started this, I want to tell you that when I started this, my general fund was at $1.15 million in a negative, in a deficit. So I pulled the funds and did the transfers and pulled them into the general fund. We had a pretty good reserve in our local option sales tax. So the, ones that had negatives, that had money spent out of them, I don't know why. I transferred from the local option sales tax and balanced those out. So now our treasurer's report, instead of having all these random numbers in funds that haven't been operable for a long time, are all clean, and it's what it's supposed to be. And then, I'm gonna pull up my treasurer's report. So after I got done with all of that, my treasurer's report shows our fund balance in the general fund. It's still a deficit, but it's a lot better. It's $594,000 in the negative. So, and then Maggie and I sent her the report after I did all the transfers and got all that lined up, and she's gonna come in next week and she's gonna try to figure out if we overlooked something somewhere, and there should be more, like, she feels like that should be in the positive. So we're gonna try to figure out if there's monies that got put into maybe debt service that can come back out where they, some of the funds that still have pretty good sized fund balances. So next Wednesday, Maggie's coming to work with me on that.
So can you just, I mean, without going way into it, just briefly paint a picture for, just because as I'm imagining as people hear this, they're like, okay, so where are we really at? Well, how does this tie into the numbers that we're trying to solidify with this software deal? And how does it fit into the upcoming audits?
The audits, I'm hoping are gonna find more, maybe some transfer errors where I can't really track back. I don't have the time to go back to 2 years ago budget to see if, because there were a lot of transfers and I don't really understand some of them. I don't understand. I mean, there's certain ones that were being done that did make sense, and then others that I don't make sense of. So I'm hoping that by paying for these audits, these re-audits, that they're gonna find money that is misplaced, and then that will help with our fund balances and get us back into the right direction.
And we're trying to clean up the accounting too. There were many buckets that were unnecessary, and some other ones that was still everything, or some that were necessary that were not there, and everything was coming out of the general fund. So just cleaning the accounting and seeing like the accounts, the lines there.
And what's the timeline on those audits? Okay, we're waiting to hear back from,
The state.
yep,
Yeah, I
Okay.
mean, I've a few times, and I can't tell you what she says, it's just they're finishing up. I actually need to, because the deadline for the state required, audit is at the end of this month, so they should be providing us, because we're waiting on them, they will provide us with a letter that we submit to them requesting an extension. But, February 27th, she said, we're getting closer every day to initiating procedures. We very much appreciate your patience and understanding the abundance of work and nationwide shortage of accountants and auditors are being felt in both the public and private sectors.
Okay. I just think it's important we hold in front of the public that that's still in process.
Yeah.
And we're determined to see it happen.
Absolutely. We're gonna have this, for everybody's peace of mind, make sure all the accounting is cleaned up, all the lines are correct, and also for Julie's peace of mind, so she knows exactly what she's working with, on the budgeting side and accounting side, so, and yeah, more.
And if that becomes a reality, that it is, the general fund is that much in the hole, I mean, those are the reasons that the overspending that was happening. I said, I'm trying to do some stuff where I can, where I'm transferring, I'm gonna do some, like, our software came all out of the general fund instead of part out of water and sewer, which that's what we pay a full-time employee, that's all she does. So why wouldn't that be half of that bill? I mean, it's a $30,000 bill. So stuff like that where I can still, in this fiscal year, find some of those things and correct that, will help with that number, but, you know, that's why I bring up things like we need to cut the budget so we balance because we're in a negative deficit to begin with, and that's why I'm asking us to raise the taxes.
Got it. Yep. Thank you.
Oh, you,
You won't usually see a resolution with this many transfers coming from me ever.
yes. So roll call?
Bowman? Reister?
Aye.
Kramer?
I,
All right. Item D, resolution 3443, adopting the social media policy. We have a motion,
So moved.
second,
discussion, I'll start discussion. We did find some, like an error that has been fixed. And then we want to add, there were some questions online where people seen the policy, some of the residents, and, there was some misunderstanding about who is the city administrator for the social media. So we want to expand that to say, you know, city clerk or any city elected officials. So we're gonna add that, and we changed the part that said Fairfax to Hudson. We already did that, but it was too late for us to include the revised version on tonight's agenda, and I don't want to put it off and table it and delay it for another meeting. So I would like to propose that we approve it with the changes. It's
So it would
okay.
just be, remove city administrator and change it to city clerk or any elected officials.
So do we need to redo the motion or amend the motion that's on the table?
Yeah,
You could,
yeah,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
And how do I do it?
Just a motion to approve with the amended change of removing city administrator to, and adding city clerk and any elected officials.
Got it. That's my motion.
Second?
second,
All in favor? Oh, well,
Yeah, do roll call.
we're gonna do roll call, yes. Roll call?
Bowman.
Aye.
Reister.
Aye.
Kramer.
I,
All right. Item E, request from Public Works Director to purchase a valve/hydrant exercise as approved by the Public Works Committee in the amount of $2,750. We have a motion?
so moved.
Second,
Any questions, comments?
it is a valve hydrant exercise.
Well, what this was, Marcus, was, Jake has informed us that they have to test the fire hydrants throughout the city. And this is the apparatus that they use for that. And I think he said he does upwards of 80. And they all have to be tested, and the equipment they currently have is worn out. It's shot. The only option we have, being we can't hire this out, is to purchase a new, actually, it's a fuel pipe threader kit, which is $2,100, adjustable 1-inch, 1-foot valve box, 150, exercise insert for 500. So it's kind of a package deal, but everything we currently have is worn out. So we pretty much have to do this because we can't farm it out.
How often do we do this? How often do we test the hydrants?
It's a yearly thing.
It's throughout the year. I mean, they spread it out.
They spread it out so they don't have to do it all at once, but it's every year. Current,
Which would make renting it not an option,
no,
renting something like this.
yeah.
Or outsourcing to, if there was a possibility, it would get too expensive, right? Way more.
If we could find somebody to do it,
Wear and tear on their bodies, like,
it would far outweigh what we can spend here.
and manually doing it is
And I believe Jake said that the life expectancy of this is, it'll go like 10, 15 years. It won't wear out. That we just happen to be in that cycle right now where we have something that's worn out.
I don't remember ever doing one in the 10 years I've been here. I mean, so they've had it for at least 10 years.
They'll go quite a while.
Yep.
Okay.
I assume this usually comes off of some budget line that
Yeah, they have
is
the,
fixing.
yep, they have it in their budget.
Yeah, it's Public Works, right? They have the funds,
Actually, it'll come out of water.
water, okay. So. All in favor?
I,
All opposed? Motion carried. Item F, motion to approve the quote for lead and asbestos testing required for the Battlefield Bridge replacement project from Terracone in the amount not to exceed $3,000. Do we have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Any discussion, any questions?
My understanding
Is
is,
required.
go ahead, Marcus, go ahead.
I was just gonna ask, this is required testing for the project. We got a couple bids.
Yeah.
What do those bids look like?
Yeah, I didn't see the bids, but yes, this is required testing and there's a time crunch on it, so. I think that Mark from AECom had dealt with getting the pricing and this is who they said to go with but we are definitely, because they have to get it out to bid and this has to be done before that can happen.
In big picture, we're basically paying for the engineering on this. And then there's a grant or a federal thing, like a bridge fixing grant that's paying for the rest of it.
Yeah,
And so this fits under the engineering category that we cover.
likely, yes,
Yeah.
that will be our cost.
Okay.
It may, that's a Mark question, I don't know. We might be able to put it into that funding, but for $3,000, the scope of the project.
The whole project is in the hundreds of thousands of dollars and we're paying something like 70 to 90 for engineering, something like that.
This was before my time, so I don't know
Okay.
the logistics of it, unfortunately, I don't know the details,
I think that's pretty close off the top of my head to where we're at. I'm not necessarily asking for specific numbers. I'm just reminding us of
No, it's a big.
what our portion is versus what and somehow we were selected because that bridge is in bad shape and all that kind of stuff.
Okay,
I'm just aware that people in the community wonder what we're talking about. And so I just wanna
make,
take a couple seconds to bring everyone up to speed.
Yeah.
And if there are more questions, they can ask us later.
yep, absolutely. So all in favor?
Alright,
All opposed? Motion carried. Information on items, if you wanna look at the meeting minutes and reports, you can find those online. Reminder items, you have the dates there for the next, work committee meeting, personal admin finance committee and public and safety. And our next council meeting is Monday, April 13, and we'll be back at 6 o'clock. Today, we just had to
Okay.
push it to
and we have a
6:50.
budget meeting tomorrow.
And we have a budget workshop tomorrow, yes, with all department heads.
Five. Was
It is
5:30.
5:30, I believe. What's my forward?
Move to adjourn?
Done then?
About,
I mean, I don't know the steps we're supposed to go through, but we're in between, Cherry Street, or, yeah, the Cherry, and Marion Street. And there's several here that we were told that we're gonna start getting, they're gonna buy some land. And they're like,
That it was gonna be $1 to buy it back.
yeah, like,
Can we adjourn the meeting?
yeah,
And then
let's adjourn.
You
and
talk
we
to
can-
them?
We can talk to them.
That'd be good.
Okay, do we have a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Meeting adjourned? All right, let's answer questions.